Good day and welcome back to Elementary 72 Gaming. This is Tower of God Full Spoilers, Season 2, Episode 7. And I'm not going to spare any spoilers for this episode. Let's get into it. Okay, before we actually start the content of this episode, here's an apology for content that I had actually missed that was in the show. Number one, the reference of the silverfish instead of the sweetfish. Um, Obviously, it's a slight translation variant. Silverfish and sweetfish are two different creatures, and yeah, I forgot about it. Um, Considering that the sweetfish is part of the Hell Trade and silverfish is part of the 20th floor story. There's a special significance to it. It's some type of special fish for anima, so they can use it to imbue it with special qualities of some sort, but nonetheless, it's really hard to capture. So that is the story for the 20th floor where I missed it. There's also something that I missed during the exams. I'm not exactly sure what it was that I missed, but there is a piece of information that I missed somewhere in the exams that I kind of forgot. The 20th floor promotion exam, basically the test, I missed a piece of information in there. I'm not sure on what it is right now. Obviously, I have to rewatch the entire season. I'll only be able to do it next week, Monday, if I'm correct. So yeah, it's gonna be quite a while. Yeah, so sorry about the long delay on that. And yeah, that's the whole tricky situation with the past content. So let's get into episode 7 with the full spoilers. So we get the big brouhaha floral butterfly piercing technique versus Scorch Supreme Death King's Fist, which is Yurik Mizuno's signature move. It's the same fist that was interrupted every time in the second floor, the floor of tests, where they were playing the crown game. It was interrupted there. It was interrupted during the hide and seek game. It's what Shibisu went crazy about them never getting to see. You don't understand how upset we are. We never got to see it. Now, the Scorch Supreme King's Death Fist is Yurik Mizuno's signature move. That means that individual was likely a chosen of Bulayuk's song. So yeah, it's crazy to imagine that. Moving on to the next part of it, when it comes to the fight, everything happened just the way that I remember. Triple field control, which is a nonsense move done by Prince. It doesn't have any better flow or control over restricting motion. And Yurik says, "You better come with an opera if you hope to stop me for even more than a millisecond," basically, for more than a tenth of a second. And he just breaks out of it and he damages the lighthouse. Then he tanks the shot from the devil in Huryang's right arm like it's nothing. And he basically shrugs off every other attack that's launched at him. The fire from the Yuan family, he dusts it off like it's nothing. The attack from Arc Raptor, from Wagner and his Shinsu bomb, all of it is absolutely deflected. And then all of a sudden, we get Bomb versus Yurik, and we see that he really respects him because he didn't back down. And when he hits him, he actually manages to injure him. Now, the injury shows up very clearly for us, so we can see it. But in the anime, it was very small. Not in the manga, it was very small. It's at that point that Misang shows up, and we see that Bam diverts his attack so that he can defend Misang instead. And this here earns him respect from Yurik. Yurik says he really respects what he did, and because of this here, they'll give him that Yurik will give Viol the Zigna flower because of the compassion that he has for his friends. And it's at this point that everybody feels really miserable because Bam basically looks like he's dead. His entire body is broken to pieces. There's blood pouring all over him. And in the next second, he ends up healing with that skeleton which showed up earlier. Now, this didn't happen in the manga. This is them showing that this power is coming into play a second time. And following this, here we see Yurik leave, and we see that the Rankers did intend for him to kill a Slayer candidate so that basically they could get rid of it. Now, they didn't know it was Yurik Mazino, and our Raptor is the one who says Yurik Mazino. So basically, he notices him as one of the strongest people in the tower, one of the top three, so top four in the tower. So really high up on that rank. And the next thing we know, we get this little Wulayuk song. I don't know what to call it. Interlude, basically, where they say keep an eye on the Slayer baby because he looks really important. Now, because of this one little piece of information that's given, it actually has a play on some of the information that was thrown out in some of the translations. I believe that episode 8 translation was put on episode 7 by accident for some places. So when you're reading the subs, you get episode 8 subs for episode 7, which is kind of unlucky, for lack of a better word. So yeah, that's what happens. And let's see. From there, we get the whole thing with him saying that the Rankers couldn't touch him, but there's the special baby in Fug who we need to keep an eye on. So that's how we're going to get Lero Ro's story with Wulayuk Song. He's going to be charged with looking after Bam. And I don't know whether this is going to be a 25 episode season. I really doubt it. I think it's going to be a 13 episode season, more than likely. Or 12, but we'll see how it goes. Anyway, following this year, we get the next big thing that happens, and that is the return to the house with the injured Viol. Now remember, they managed to pass the test because they got a Zigna flower, and all the information about the Zigna flower was released, so Yiwa was totally destroyed when she found out that her family isn't the good guys she thought they were. They were just as twisted and cruel as Fug, if not worse. So yeah, it really made her upset. And above and beyond that, she decided that she was going to stand up and make a better way for herself in the tower. As a result of that, she starts cooking. It's a little bit of a gag, how she can't do anything right. And when she starts cooking, she starts burning everything. Now, after this year, she comes to the declaration that she will travel the tower as a true noble of the 10 great families and learn of all of their mistakes and document it and try to right the wrongs so that they aren't worse than Fug. And it's at that point that a few more things unravel. Now, Wagner is very special for several reasons. Number one, Fug wanted him to get through that test on the 20th floor. If Fug has some interest in him, even if Karaka wanted to, he can't kill those regulars. Jin Sang-ha wasn't going to kill them. He has some other importance to Fug, and Fug most probably would have told him that he can't kill those regulars. At the most, he can push away everybody from the team except for Prince. Or he was told that he has to keep Prince with him. Now, this would be limited information to a few members who understand the importance of Wagner. Wagner is actually Karaka's brother, which is kind of ironic. If anything were to be understood about this here would be how it would be explained. Karaka is one of the sons of Jahad, and his brother is one of the other sons of Jahad, and his brother is Wagner. So Wagner and Karaka are brothers, and as a result of it, if Karaka knew what he was doing, he'd most probably have to stop all of his plans and work a new way around it. He most probably would kidnap his brother, train up his brother to be a far better fighter, far more efficient, and give him a much easier way up the tower, instead of the hardcore way of going up with Viol. That's because Viol is going to be targeted by the 10 great families, by Jahad, by Wulayuk Song possibly, and any other force that's going to look for the potential of his power. Now you might be wondering, why would Wulayuk Song want his power? Well, another irregular means there's a bigger chance of them getting beyond the 134th floor, superseding Jahad's climb of the tower. And that's just the thing. Any one of them could break through if they're irregular. And irregular like Balm, obviously, and irregular like Rachel, she doesn't have any powers. Everything that she gets is artificial at best. And yeah, if anybody's following the manga, she's basically really far from being anything special. Even with powers given to her, she's still subpar and weak. She's insignificant in every method that she uses. Okay, moving on to the next piece from here. We then get the whole Wagner and Jinsung Ha conversation, where Jinsung Ha says, I think it's about time that I take Viol away from you, from your team, and get him into a better team so that this doesn't happen to him again. I don't like to see him hurt. Now, this is kind of ironic because Jinsung Ha is one of the guys who kidnapped Balm, basically, and they used him as a weapon. So that they're bad guys in that way. And from here we get the whole conversation that happens between the team, where Prince shows both his dedication to staying with Viol. He wants to stay around him so that one day he can surpass him. We see that Arc Raptor also says that he wants to stay around with this team. He thinks it's the best place for him to be. If he stays with Viol, one day he might be able to meet his daughter again. And we don't know the reason why Huriang is there, but Huriang wants to see what monster is hiding within Balm, because he believes it's similar to the monster in his right arm, the devil in his right arm. And at the end of all of this, there's going to be a whole test in the next episode, which is going to reveal all of these questions when we find out who the devil in the right arm really is. The guy with the devil in his left arm, who is actually called the devil in his right arm, is going to be the guy who ends up causing a big rift in this team and splitting it apart. And it's all with the help of Fug and with Rachel, of course. So yeah, that's two of the big puzzle pieces, and it looks like we're gearing up for the Hand of Ireland and all of the craziness that's going to go down there. So moving on, the next thing is the Karaka and Jinsung Ha conversation. So Karaka says that it's about time that he eliminates those regulars around Viol and puts a Fug team to climb the tower with Viol. Now the reason behind this is twofold. He has a plan to use Viol as a weapon component, and he wants to use him as a weapon component, while on the other hand, if we can make another Slayer candidate his subordinate, it would make it far better for him in the future. He'll be able to control a little bit more power within Fug. So that's his twofold plan. If we can't melt him into the ignition weapon, the needle, then he'll simply take the kid with him as a Slayer candidate and grow in power. Fortunately for Karaka, Balm turns out to be a massive powerhouse later on down the road, and he ends up being so powerful that Karaka actually ends up becoming his minion instead. Because for all matters of effect, Balm becomes so powerful that he's stronger than a former Slayer from Fug called Slayer White. He becomes so powerful that his power is in the rank of the top 50 in the tower, and this is with him less than halfway up the tower. So obviously he's ridiculous, and that's our little Balm. So yeah, that's all we have to say about it. There's not much to say about Pukan and his shadows. Pukan is a servant of one of the other Slayers in Fug, and he's willing to work with Karaka to secure the needle, because the needle can kill irregulars, even irregulars with contracts that break the rules of the tower. So yeah, that needle with Balm infused would be ridiculously powerful. So that's the reason why they're after an irregular. It will allow them to break the rules of the tower with that weapon. So yeah, that's one of the keys. I hope that you all do enjoy this, and I will catch you all in the next full spoilers. Until then, have a good day.